Hello, my name is Bibi, and in this video we're making my first vintage pattern. So I was working on my last project, which was making Makira Tour's Valentine's Day dress, and when I went to Joann's to buy the zipper for that, I came across this pattern and immediately fell in love with it and immediately knew that I needed it.
It spoke to me.
It is also conveniently 70s themed, so it works for my sister's bachelorette. So I just bought that, and this video is me making this outfit from the pattern. Okay, so step one of our pattern is to figure out which size I'm supposed to do.
And there's a lot of numbers back here.
I'm not great with numbers, so I've never done a pattern before, so I have no idea what any of these are. So I did figure it out, and I unfurled all of the pattern pieces and cut out the largest size, which was for the pattern that I bought, a medium. Hello! My family was visiting this week. I had a great time.
So fun.
We went to all these different places I haven't visited in California yet. It also means that my crafting energy has been building up for a while, and I am peak crafting. So today we are working on this. I began that day by laying out all of my fabric and putting the pattern pieces on top.
This is a lot of fabric.
Okay, so we have everything laid out for the top. This is the cape, this is the front, that's the front facing, that's the back, and that is the armhole facing piece. So what I'm going to do next is iron this piece of fabric and then pin these all down and cut. So you may notice that I'm cutting some of these pieces bigger than the pattern indicates. That's because I thought I needed a large, but I actually did have to take it in, so a medium would have been fine. Here are all the pieces. I'm going to read the instructions and try to figure out what the next step is. Before I do that, and you should be very proud of me, I'm going to cut out all of the notches. Are you proud of me? I sound like a
Professional seamstress.
So step one, press under front edge of front facing. Pin front facing to front with right sides together matching symbols. Stitch along the neck, armhole, and lower edge. That feels like clip curves. I don't know what that means, but
Besides that,
I think I do know what that means. This is what that piece looks like after I had sewn it down where the pattern indicated. I turn this inside out.
I did leave needles in there.
Small stabbing hazard. And there she is. Make sure you iron after that. The next step on the pattern was to baste the raw edges, but I kind of thought this was useless. Let me know if this is not. Okay, hi. What the pattern says to do next is to
Ease the curve of the tie.
stitch only on the curve. And then it says to hem it. I don't really know if that's supposed to help me hem it, and I don't know why I'm talking to you like this, so. So then I went on my merry way, making that small stitch kind of near the edge of the curve and then hemming the rest of it. That small stitch probably did help. Okay, so we have a janky but hemmed long piece. Next, we make pleats, and look at these little pattern pleats. Oh my gosh, so I'm gonna make these pleats and then we get to do it all again. But once we do it all again, I'll have a top, or the front of a top. As excited as I was about the pleats on the pattern, I actually didn't really end up using them. This is me kind of just makeshifting pleats. Cute! Okay. Too cute! Let's do the other side. Hello, good morning. So yesterday we finished both sides of the front of the top. So today I would like to finish the top. I think that's
Probably.
a too ambitious goal because do darts back here, do the lining for the arms, and then add our cape and then hem everything. And that's a lot of things if you factor in time for the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. So I think we should just get started on darts first. There's no good footage of how I transferred the darts from the pattern and how I made them, but I will link a tutorial in the description for that. Okay, we have all 4 darts now. I guess to make
My back looks mad.
next thing we're doing is the facing pieces on the shoulder. And then we can connect the cape, and then we can hem, and then we can be done. Lay your fabric right sides facing together, pin down your facing, and then sew it. That is, sew it down if you and your sewing machine are having a good time. Me and my sewing machine were in a little bit of a fight that day. Okay, let's try that again. And that is what I'm gonna say is the reason I didn't finish the top this day.
Are you kidding me?
Definitely just my sewing machine and nothing to do with my skill or talent. Okay, the sleeves have facing now. This is almost, dare I say, slightly professional. Yep, and the next step had me looking almost, dare I say it, confused. After much reading and
Reading.
and finally maybe understanding
That
I think what we're supposed to do is take this back piece and connect it to the front panel with the facing I got really confused, but I didn't have to. I was working on this step, and basically all you need to do is attach the front and back with right sides facing at the shoulder and at the side, and then the facing will just flip back the inside once you reverse or flip everything inside out, if that makes sense. So just get to that sewing machine. The next thing I did was realize that the darts needed to be tighter, so I undid them and then looked on myself to see where I wanted them to be. Okay, I moved pleats and it is much better. I think we're going to add the cape and then we'll be done with the shirt.
After we hem.
Hem first, then add the cape. To hem, I folded the fabric about an inch and then ironed that down and then folded that into itself so there were no raw edges. Hi, hello, it's me, Evening BB. I've changed into my pajamas because I
Can't be bothered.
We are so close to finishing this shirt today. Basically, we're on to the cape. Ow.
I just stabbed myself.
We're on to the cape, which is going to be so cute. The first thing I did with the cape was hem it, and I used the same method I used for the top, but obviously it took a lot longer since the cape was deceptively a lot of fabric. That took like 12 years, but we finally hemmed this. I think it took so long because this is a big
Radius.
And then you'll want to connect the cape to the back of the top neckline. Then I spent a lovely 45 minutes fighting with my sewing machine because my bottom thread was looking like this, but eventually I fixed it and I looked happier than I've ever looked while sewing. So here she is. We have the front, the shoulder pieces, and then this cape hanging on by the neck. And the next thing is to pin the cape right sides together along the shoulder side. And then when you flip it, it'll hide the inside and that seam. Just pin down the cape probably a little bit closer to the armhole than I have it here. And then run that through your sewing machine. Be careful not to sew the front and back together so that you still have an armhole. I added a step of adding these little buttons or snaps to the front because I thought I would needed them, but it was completely useless and I wasted a lot of time hand sewing for something that I'm not even using, so would recommend not doing that. This is me with the top with the snaps. I got a little discouraged at this point and a little hyper-focused on the top, so I moved on to the skirt. I definitely know that I want to fix it, but I definitely also know that
I need space.
From it. This is like a mental health break from this top. So let's start the skirt. Let's get to cutting. So here are the skirt panels. Basically we have to sew along the sides to connect the front and back and then down this middle seam on both the front and the back. I don't know the easiest way to do that. I think I'll take 2 at a time and do the side seams and then the front and back seams probably. I guess it probably doesn't even matter. Let's just get sewing. Hello! Okay, this is currently the fit. Obviously, skirt needs a hem and we need to add the elastic and then those finishing touches on the top, but I was totally right. Looking at all of this makes me feel so much better. To make the elastic band, I made a casing for the elastic using the same method I was using to hem, and then just sewed that down, leaving a tiny hole for the elastic to go through, and then I put a paper clip or a pin on the end of the elastic and shoved it through the elastic casing that I had made, which took me a ridiculous amount of time and was much more difficult than I thought it would be. After I finished that, I sewed down the two sides of the elastic band together where it fit where I wanted it to using a zigzag stitch, and then I cut off the ends, tucked it inside the casing, and sewed down that last bit of the casing. After that, I moved on to hemming the skirt, which you've seen me do about 1,000 times in the past 10 minutes, so we'll move on. The next thing I did was hem the shirt so that it fit me better, and then I will let this BB describe the second problem I had with the shirt. And then secondly, we have these, which are my current
Arch nemesis.
Nemesi? What's the plural? Nemesis.
My nemesises.
Is it nemesises? I feel like that has to be wrong.
Nemesi?
That's what I said. Anyways, these are my nemesi. Nemesis?
Plural nemesis.
Nemesises?
Yep.
Surely not.
I'm just curious what Google says. That's what I thought. Nemesis sounds better, but it's not.
Anyways, I think that I would like to fold these in half and sew so that if I knot in the middle, they don't show the wrong side. Plus, if they're a little bit more thin, I just think that would be all around cuter. Well, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am so pleased with how this outfit turned out. Especially I think the time that I took to really push through with the top to make it fit me exactly how I wanted was really worth it, and that's what's really exciting to me about getting to make my own clothes. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time you're feeling crafty. Bye.